Hello, Ajoku here, and today we're going to be talking about what to do when you inherit a property. Stay tuned for further information. So what is an inherited property? Unfortunately, someone has passed away, and as a result, they have left the property. The property is either given to the next of kin, or it may be on the will that it goes to the children, for example. So there might be more than one sibling involved, and they have to now take possession of that property. There'll be a period of time where you go through a probate, and then the probate will decide how the proceeds will be divided, if there's money involved, if there's outstanding money on the property, mortgage, etc. So they'll go through a process. There's a process of a probate process that has to go through. There are a number of choices that one has to go through during this probate. I'm going to cover about 7 of them. So what are the choices when you now have this property? The first choice is to sell the property. So you can obviously go through the normal channels. You can go to an estate agent and try and sell the property, or you can try and sell the property yourself through a for sale by owner website, for example, or you can choose the likes of our business to get a quick sell for your property as well. So there are challenges when it does come to selling, because obviously the property may be dated if it's not been decorated for a long time, if it needs a new bathroom, a new kitchen. So to get the best price possible, you may have to invest and do some work on the property first. The next option you can do is you can rent out the property. But in order to rent out the property, you've got to make sure that the standards of the right is of the right standard. For example, the electric fuse box needs to be current. You need to have a current gas safety certificate. The property has to be of a certain standard. For example, sometimes you have the old tiling, the polystyrene tiling that is affected by fire. So if there's a fire, it's actually a fire hazard. So if you have that on the ceilings, for example, those have to be removed. In order to let it out, the best looking properties let quicker. So if it's got, for example, old wallpaper on there, old carpets, sometimes people have carpets in the bathroom, things like that. These have to be addressed so that property is brought to a good standard, a good level of quality, so to attract the right type of tenant. Thirdly, you can choose the option of moving in yourself. Now, this may be difficult if there's a number of siblings involved, because usually they will want to sell the property and divide the proceeds amongst themselves. But if, for example, it's just yourself and you don't mind staying in the property, because obviously if it was a relative, it may have, you may have some feelings towards staying there. You might not be comfortable with staying there, that sort of thing. But there is an option. That option, you could actually move into the property yourself, renovate the property to a certain standard, and actually live there yourself, and then continue paying the mortgage if there is a mortgage there, or take over the property and live there yourself. The fourth thing I would say is you need to involve solicitors in your dealings to make sure things are done fairly and properly and professionally. The fifth thing to consider is taxes. You're going to get taxes from income. If you sell it, for example, if you sell it, you're going to have a thing called capital gains, which you have to pay is a tax. The second thing is if you let it, you also have to pay a tax, because you have to pay a tax on the rental of the income that's coming in from the property. Number 6 is the mortgage obligations. If there's an outstanding mortgage, then you as the owner or as the new owner would now be obliged to satisfy that obligation. You would need to be paying the mortgage that's outstanding for that property. However, in some cases, some people have life insurance, and that life insurance policy could kick in and take care of the mortgage payment. So you need to look into that and find out what the current situation is and what you need to do. And lastly, number 7, if you are taking over a property and it has tenants in it, then you are now the new landlord. So this would mean that you have to take care of make sure the council tax is paid, make sure the gas safety is up to date, make sure the electrical certificate is done. If there's any damages on the roof, take care of that. If there's any damp or situations like that, you need to take care of all those situations. So you are now a landlord. So you'll be obliged to take care of any repairs, and also make sure that the mortgage obligation is met as well. You could alternatively, depending on the relationship you have with the tenants or the person that was there before had with the tenants, you may be able to negotiate with them to get them to move out or evict them. But in this current coronavirus time, the new law says that you cannot evict tenants for 3 months, for the next 3 months. We're now in March, so for the next 3 months, you're not allowed to evict tenants. So the eviction process might be a bit difficult to go down that road. If you do have tenants in there, you could perhaps leave the tenants in there until this time has passed and then work out what you're going to do, whether you want to increase the rent or whether you want to evict the tenants and you know, get the property sold or get different tenants in there that are paying more rent. So I hope those 7 points help. That give you some kind of indication of some of the things that you can do. It's not everything you can do. It's not an exhaustive list, but some of the things that you can do to help you with your inherited property. Remember to comment below, click on the subscribe button, and remember to share and click on the like button. And also subscribe for, hit the notifications bell for more videos just like this. Thank you. Take care. God bless you.